Year 10, welcome back from your half-term break. I hope you had a really good opportunity to get some rest and to recharge your batteries for the last half-term of the school year. To start off with today, I want you to have a look at this image here, taken inside Nazi Germany, and just write down what you see, what you think it might mean, and what you wonder, what questions you maybe have. Some of the obvious things to focus on. What you see, well, we can see from these flags that it obviously takes place in Nazi Germany. We can also see there's some kind of military parade going on, and that could ponder questions over perhaps whether Germany is rearming itself. Then finally, what does this have to do with the Treaty of Versailles? How does that affect it? What is going to be the impact of Germany rearming on the Treaty of Versailles and therefore on international relations? If you remember, Germany's armed forces were supposed to be strictly kept at 100,000 people. Yet I'd hazard to guess at this parade alone there was probably more than 100,000 people taking place. And that was no accident. But what we want to look at today is how significant German rearmament was and how it contributed to the outbreak of war. And to do this, you need to know how Hitler's introduction of conscription and rearmament challenged the Treaty of Versailles, and you need to understand how Hitler divided the Allies through bilateral agreement. So, first of all, we just need to ensure that we know our terminology. Rearmament and conscription. Check your books to ensure you know these terms that you've written down. If not, write them down. They are here as follows. Rearmament is the process of rebuilding military with personnel and weapons, and conscription is the compulsory enlistment into the military. So if we lived in a country where conscription was still in law, for example, if you lived in the UK in the 1950s, then when you are 18 years old, if you're a male, you would get typically called into the army and have to go and conduct military drills and so forth to train properly in the ways of the military. For the next bit, you will need this handout here attached to the upload on Frog. It's actually a couple of pages from the textbook. You will need to make this table: date, event, what happened, how did this break the Treaty of Versailles, as your headlines. And I will send the table as a document if you wish to do it on the computer or print it off. That is absolutely fine. But if you want to write it out in your book, that is also absolutely fine. And just go through each of these 6 events and do as it says on the tin. Explain what happened and how this broke the Treaty of Versailles. Again, remember those terms. Refer back to your knowledge organizer. Refer back to your notes if you need a bit of reminding. And then once you've done that, answer these 2 questions in your book. How did Hitler challenge the Treaty of Versailles by rearming and introducing conscription? And how did Hitler follow this up? And why was this successful for him, at least at this stage? And then finally, answer this question: what does this source tell us about the outbreak of war? Explain it in no more than 30 words. Okay, so plenty for you to be getting on with. Do remember you still have that, particularly that exam question due. That on Frog is in on Thursday. I will mark that in time for next week so we can do feedback. But if there's anything else that you're stuck on, or if you're just finding things really overwhelming, or anything else like that, don't hesitate to contact. A lot of you have done some fantastic work, and I'm really impressed with so many of you, and we want to keep that momentum going. Okay, hope to see you soon when they allow year 10s back into the school, but if not, just keep working here if you need.